Hello everyone and welcome to Sunrise Tarot. My name is Leah and today we'll be doing a reading for the sign of Pisces for 2024. As you know, Pisces, this is a general reading, so there will be parts that may not resonate with you. Only take the parts that do and leave the rest for someone else. I've already meditated on the cards, I've already shuffled the cards, and this is the spread that I have for you today. So let's get right into it. In the past position, we have the Ten of Wands clarified by the Star. In the obstacle position, we have Temperance clarified by the Knight of Cups. In the advice from Spirit position, we have the Three of Cups clarified by Justice. In the first part of 2024, we have the Moon clarified by the Nine of Cups. And in the second part, we have Ace of Wands clarified by the Six of Swords. So let's get right into this spread. Clearly, in the recent past, you've had a lot of work that you did. You had a lot of responsibilities on your shoulders. Definitely, you may have felt exhausted. You may have felt slightly burned out as well. You've definitely put in a lot of time and energy and hard work into creating a better future for yourself, to creating a brighter future for yourself. You understand that effort corresponds with results, and when you put in so much time and so much energy and so much blood, sweat, and tears into something, it's definitely going to pay off for you in a major way. It's important to remember that the Ten of Wands is, a card of life, struggles. It's about things that bother you on a deeper level about life. So it's important to remember when you want to really streamline your energy, you must simplify things. Also, it's always best to focus on one or two things and rather sort of spreading yourself out over many different things: work, home, friends, and all the rest of it. It's important to concentrate and focus on one or two things in order to accomplish the most. The Ten of Wands is also about reaching out to other people for help, because a lot of times we think that no one can help us, that only we can do it. But it is important to remember, don't over-identify with this burden. Don't over-identify with this struggle that you've had to go through. You may have also experienced in the recent past, like you were spiritually exhausted because you've been trying to do the right thing and help, other people out and carry your own burden at the same time. Sometimes people do experience like a healing fatigue, and spiritual fatigue. So that's not uncommon. This is why you have the Temperance in the obstacle position, because Temperance is about balance. Balance is the great savior. If you are able to have balance, then you're probably not accomplishing as more, but you are closer to the truth. Much more. A lot of times people fall into the trap of human doing, and so they want to do, accomplish. But at the end of the day, that doesn't make them any happier. Look at like some of the wealthiest people in the world. They generally don't have an aura of happiness about them. Look at super successful people. They generally don't have an aura of happiness around them. They have an aura of comfort, yes. They have an aura of enjoying their social position, yes. but there is no true happiness. It's not going to fulfill you when you push yourself to get way, way, way up high, to the top of the mountain. The most important to remember is to be balanced, is to live your life being cognizant and aware of every thought, of every action. Balance is important because ultimately it protects you, and allows you to stay in high vibration. Because when you work way too much, you neglect your home. When you are only focused on the home and you don't really work and you neglect that area of your life, again, there may be something that comes up in the future that will kind of make you feel, well, I should have done something work-wise. So it's important to remember that balance saves you ultimately, and people that have balance have more happier, more fulfilled life. And that's what temperance here is sort of teaching you. In order to feel fulfilled, you have to proceed forward cautiously. You have to kind of stick with moderation as well. You have to appreciate patience, because not everything happens all at once. There is a process of evolution that allows you to evolve, and therefore to be able to handle more. A little baby cannot handle a grown person's list of burdens, right? Because a grown baby has to evolve to that point, right? So that's important to remember. The Knight of Cups in the clarifying position definitely tells me to for you to be more aware of your emotions, because sometimes when we have uncomfortable emotions, we tend to escape them. We tend to find ways to not feel those things. And so the Knight of Cups is about, in the obstacle position, is about escapism. Where do you think you might be escaping emotions you don't want to feel? And what is a situation or circumstance where you would allow to yourself to feel those emotions, where you would allow yourself to listen to the messages those uncomfortable emotions carry? That's something that you do have to work on in 2024. Don't suppress or ignore your emotions. Don't idealize things for and make them better than they actually are. It's important to remember that we live in the world of duality, and sometimes darkness helps us evolve. Sometimes when we go through the dark night of the soul, we come out on the other side stronger, better, more respectful of ourselves, because we've stood up to the challenge. We looked at it in the face and continued on our path nonetheless. So it's important to be aware of what you feel and why you feel in 2024. In the advice from Spirit position, Pisces, you have the Three of Cups, which is definitely advice from Spirit is to connect with people around you. Be positive, be open, be generous with your time, be enthusiastic about getting together with other people, because we are social animals, at least our species. There, I guess, are other species that may not be as social, that can be solitary, but we are social. We derive a lot of happiness and fulfillment from interacting with other people and learning their ways of doing things, because that enriches our own world. So there will be growth when it comes to social scene in your life. Maybe you will be getting more friends, maybe you'll be getting more acquaintances, but the kind of like the social scene is definitely going to be at the top at the top for you in 2024. Don't be shy when it comes to expressing appreciation of people in your life. You also have justice in the clarifying position, which definitely reinforces the idea of balance. The divine here is really sending you a strong message to try and move towards balance, because that will help you avoid unpleasant experiences in the future, and make it easier for you to go through challenges as well. Maybe there is someone that you need to apologize to. Maybe there's some kind of accountability that you need to take into consideration. Maybe you need to apologize for to yourself for ignoring your emotions and the messages that they carry, and ignoring your intuition or what have you. But clearly, justice is suggesting that when you treat others with fairness, when you treat yourself with fairness, you have a much easier time going through this life journey. Now, in the first part of 2024, you have the moon, which is interesting because the moon is telling me that you're changing your mind about what makes you happy, what you do during the times that you are happy. You're realizing that if you listen more to your intuition and your inner guidance, then the happiness comes from within you. And so it's important to remember that, the exterior things that happen on the outside of you should not be affecting the balance on the inside of you. And when you reach that level where, regardless of whether the person in front of you is doing, whatever, or saying whatever, that still doesn't affect the inside of you, because you've mastered the emotion, you've mastered the alignment, you've mastered that balance between the divine feminine and the divine masculine. Definitely the moon is interesting because it reminds you to listen to your intuition. It reminds you to look within for the guiding light, for you to move forward. But the change is slowly and gradually coming in, Pisces. The way your lifestyle is now, the way you're looking at the world now, is going to change by the time 2024 comes to a close. This is a year of the wooden dragon, and so it is going to be chaotic. It is going to be revolutionary. It is going to create different vibrations, different frequencies, and so it's extremely important for you to have a strong core. And the strong core starts with meditating, starts with staring at a candle, starts with taking walks in nature, especially when the weather gets a little warmer and it's a little nicer outside. I totally understand that most of the United States has been under a cold spell the past couple of weeks. But as soon as the weather gets better, it's definitely important to get outside. The moon definitely hides secrets. The moon doesn't show everything that there is, and there's definitely things in the shadows. So it's important to be aware that when the moon doesn't show you everything that there is to really build a strong core and operate out of your frame. The second part of 2024 is going to be your most favorite, Pisces, because things are changing. Definitely things are becoming better. You have the Ace of Wands, which is helping you expand your potential, where you will feel more realized, where you will feel like, okay, I wanted to do this, or I wanted to do that, I got to do it. I got to at least start on my journey. I can feel my potential being realized. I can feel myself coming into full bloom, if you will. And so that's definitely going to be a very exciting time for you, a time of growth and change and transformation. You will develop a new way of thinking about the world, about your life, and that is great because that's exactly what you're supposed to be going through. It will help you evolve, and as you evolve in your perspective, as you evolve in the way you think, it's going to open up a whole new world of possibilities and new ways of achieving your goals and inspiring yourself, as well as people around you. But let's see what we can clarify with an ancestor and angel oracle card that I pulled earlier. We have summer, bask in joy and light. Definitely stick with the higher vibrational energies. It's important to preserve your high vibration because the impact of high vibration over long periods of time is compounded, and so it will carry you by its inertia. At some point, you get so good at staying in high vibration that you don't necessarily even need to try. It carries you by itself. The bee is a good sign for prosperity and abundance. Remember, prosperity and abundance come in different ways. It's not just about stacking dollars in a bank account. Prosperity and abundance can come in ways of laughter, of creativity, of enjoying what it is that you do, of being excited, of waking up in the morning and having a cup of coffee and looking out the window, and seeing the world wake up and the birds start chirping and the squirrels start running, and all of that. It's important to remember abundance comes in different ways. Abundance is not just about one thing. It can apply to many different things. Expand your consciousness when you think about abundance. Expand your mind when you think about abundance. It could be many different friends. It could be many different experiences that you get to have. It could be so many, different things that carry and bring abundance to you. So that is something for you to be aware of. But let's see what we can clarify with the Shaman's Dream Oracle card. And we have Joyful Muse Inspiration. Inspiration is very important because as a human being, you can't just get up in the morning and problem solve all day. You've already learned how to wash your hands. You've already learned how to put on your clothes. You've already learned how to get to your job. You've already learned how to clean up after yourself, and on and on and on and on. It's all about problem solving. Inspiration is a different realm. Inspiration is where you improvise, is where you pick up 3 or 4 or 5 objects and try to create something out of it. Maybe you can fit it this way or fit it that way. Maybe you can paint it a color. Maybe you can glue it together. Maybe you can put it on a stand. Maybe you can put it on a wall. That is what inspiration and creativity is all about. When you paint or play a musical instrument, when you sing and dance, when you whatever, however you express creativity, however you express inspiration, the brain picks up on it and it creates new ways. This is important to remember. If there is something you don't know, don't worry about it. Your brain is equipped to create new pathways because the synapses start firing and they start building. I think it's called neuroplasty. They start building a pathway pathway. It's like the path in front of you that was dark all of a sudden becomes illuminated because the brain built a pathway. And inspiration kind of promotes that. Inspiration motivates that. Inspiration gives you ideas. When you talk to a really interesting person, you learn from them, but your mind doesn't realize it. And then you go home and then you think, well, if I apply this to that, I could do this, you know? And so inspiration is the reason for existence. It gives you a meaning because you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, creating something. And when you create, you kind of mirroring God, right? When you create, you're sort of acting like a little baby God, if you will. And so that gives you a lot of fulfillment, and that gives you ability to create more. And so that's how resilience is built, you know, little by little, step by step, gradual approach is always the best approach because it has a compound effect. When you start from nothing, and then when you keep at it, creating or inspiring yourself, people around you, after a while it becomes very easy. The process of creativity doesn't scare you that much. Think of you being a famous singer. You have to go into a studio and you have to have words, you know, that you'll be singing. You have to have a melody that you will be playing, you know, and so they start with nothing. They press down on different notes, and after a while they have two notes together, 4, 5, 10, and before you know it, the first verse is there. So it's important to remember, when you practice creativity, it brings a lot of fulfillment, and it also attracts like-minded energy. People will be drawn to you. They are already drawn to you because you are a unique, very important, significant human being who has inspired others, who have helped others. So it's important for you to be aware of that in 2024. But most importantly, it's important to keep your balance, to keep your moderation in check, to really think about making a decision in a new way. You really have to address your values. You really have to address your thoughts, and make a better decision because you've learned so much in 2023. You've learned even more in 2022. And so 2024 is the year where you're blossoming. The Ace of Wands is also important because he provides great timing. So the second part of 2024 is going to be great timing for you to move from something that you've outgrown, something that no longer brings you joy, to a new circumstance, to a new situation, to a new environment where you feel your most confident self. The aces are renowned cards for a new beginning, and they give you that surge of power because they have pure, raw, elemental power, because they're the first card in that suit. So the Six of Swords is a great card because it's telling me that not only you're making a situation better for yourself, but you're also making a situation better for people that mean the most to you, that you're the most attached to. So overall, it's a good year. I mean, there are no death cards, there's no tower cards, there's no crazy cards that would make this year, less than great. So definitely, I'm super excited for you, Pisces. You're very, very strong because Pisces, they kind of like encompass all 12 signs in one. So you have profoundly special abilities. You're represented by water. Water has no obstacles. It's extremely powerful element. I personally think it's the most powerful element. So you know you're going to get your way. So I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, please do like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for visiting my channel. It's such an honor for all those of you that actually listened to this message all the way to the end. You are just the best. I absolutely adore you. Thank you so much and have a wonderful year.